Good evening, Hakology. I'm keeping this video as short as possible. This video is dedicated to rebuilding a sub-micro servo, and the servo is the H2060 from the Blade 180 CFX. First of all, you need to locate which servo it is that's the one you're having problems with the teeth ground off or whatever's gone wrong with the servo. Once you've located it, you'll then need to remove the control rod linking the servo to the gyro. That's the first step in the process. Once you've removed the control rod from the gyro, the next step is to remove the two Allen bolts holding the servo onto the frame. Once you've removed the two Allen bolts from the servo should then come loose, and then you might want to just move the wires about a bit so you can get a little bit of length and play on the servo that you're working on. There's a little plastic slip that holds the servo together, so the first thing you need to do is just slide that little plastic slip off the servo, and there it is. Once you've done that, the next step is to remove the servo arm. So you do that with a small Allen key. Take the servo arm out, put that aside, put it in a little plastic tray so you don't lose it, along with the other two bolts that you've removed from the helicopter. Okay, so now that you've removed the servo arm and you've removed the little strip of plastic around the servo, you should be able to just slide the top off very gently, and make sure you're doing this above a table, because if it falls apart you really don't want to be picking these pieces up off the floor. Okay, so once you've slid the top off, take a photo or refer to mine of the cogs and their positions and how they look when they're all set up and working, because it makes it a lot easier when you come to put the servo back together. So dismantle the servo and take all the cogs off the servo, and what you want to do is rebuild the servo just exactly the same way as you can see it in the picture. Right, once you've done that, put the connected battery to your helicopter and turn the power to the helicopter on with the transmitter bound, and make sure the helicopter is on a flat level surface. So what this will do is it will center the servo for the helicopter. Once you've turned the servo on, centered the servo, you'll need to reposition the servo arm in the same orientation that it was in when it came off the helicopter, which is at 90 degrees to the servo, but ensure that you've centered the servos first. You can buy a tool on eBay, they're about £10 to center servos for you. You can buy a tool on eBay to center the servos for you, but you don't really need it. Put it at 90 degrees as close to after you've centered the servos, and then screw the Allen bolt back into the top of the servo arm. Okay, so once you've done all that, then you need to position your servo back on the frame and put the two bolts back on. Put the two bolts back in. Once you've done that, turn the helicopter on again. Make sure that you haven't got the throttle enabled, and you've got the throttle locked at 0. Center all the servos, and then ensure that the swash plate, which is the lower part of the gyro, is at 90 degrees, and also check from the other side that the swash plate is at 90 degrees. And basically what this ensures is that when the helicopter when you spin the rotor up on the helicopter, that the blades are in the correct position. If not, you can tune the position of the swash plate by moving the ends on the control rods by rotating them clockwise or counterclockwise to lengthen or shorten them, to bring the swash plate back into alignment. I thought I got a spare set of landing gear. I don't have a spare set of landing gear, so there's no testing just yet. But when I do get the landing gear out, I will give you some feedback on whether or not this has fixed all the problems with the helicopter. I did notice that the servo that I've replaced the gear set on has some damage to the mounting points. So I've tried to bolt it down as best as I can. I may decide to put some Gorilla Glue on it. I may not. I may risk it and cost myself dearly in another crash. I might, yeah, I think I'm just going to risk it because it seems to be held in place rather firmly. I'm quite happy with it anyway. I don't want to put any extra weight on the frame in other places. Regardless, that's how to rebuild these sub-micro servos and recenter the servos on them and put them back onto the helicopter as they should be. If you've got any comments or you think I've done this wrong or I'm explaining it in an awkward way, please drop your comments below. You've been watching Hakology. As always, have fun hacking and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace!